people, we are back with another episode of Run the Roads Media Podcast. And y'all, when I say I feel like yesterday's NXT was probably some of the best wrestling, I would say this, bro. I watched yesterday's NXT episode at least 3 times. Like
Damn.
just having it on in the background from the first watch. Watched it again just to kind of, hone in on it. And then just like even at night, I normally fall asleep to like some wrestling or something on TV. Like I'll wake up, put it back on. Go to sleep, wake up, put it back on. It was great wrestling, and it was some unexpected shockers. So to start it off, we had Obafemi coming out as a champ. And I don't even know if I'm 100% sold on Obafemi just yet. I did notice, he did some great work in a triple threat match against A-Town Down Under. Clearly, you can see that they're going their separate ways very, very soon. But I was sold on Trick Williams. Like, I still feel like I would like if Trick Williams was a champion right now, going up against Moose. Granted, like, as far as like body structure, this is going to be a banger. I got a feeling that they're going to hold this one off to one of the PLEs because Obafemi came out, Moose interrupted him, said we need to have this match. Both of the guys agreed. Now, I don't want to say I was surprised it wasn't Joe Hendry because he is the TNA world champion, but he was already there for a little bit of time last year. So I don't know if they want to, give other guys some shine or they don't want Joe Hendry to lose again. And that may be the reason why they didn't call him up to go against Obafemi, because if it's, for the NXT title, 9 out of 10, he's not going to win. Just going off. Of course, they got two separate companies. But having the TNA X Division champion challenge the WWE NXT World Champion, like I can see the direction that that's going to go. But even later on in the show, they had Moose and Lexis King had a little interaction, and Moose will be defending his TNA X Division Championship next week on NXT. So that was just a great opener right there, man. And even from the next match with Kehlani Jordan and Jada Parker, and I forget what's the young lady who actually won that match, bro. I know she's from Toronto.
Carmen Petrovic, yeah.
Yep. So she actually won the match, and she will be getting a NXT North American Women's Championship match, which led to a beatdown that happened in the ring, and then we got Jordan Grace. We finally got Jordan Grace officially a part of the NXT roster. She came out along with Stephanie Valkyrie and Julia to go against Fatal Attraction, and wind up. I don't know how I feel about the stables in NXT though, bro. Like it's kind of just how it is on the main roster, where they just throw a bunch of people, in a faction, and then it's supposed to work, man. But what about the chemistry? What about the chemistry within these factions? That's what makes a great faction. You look at factions like Evolution or even the Toxic Attraction. When they were in NXT, they had Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, and what's the one that's in Fatal Attraction right now, bro?
JC Jane. It's Fatal Influence.
Yeah. What I call it, Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
That's the movie. and it's combining Toxic Attraction with Fatal Influence. So yeah, bro. How did you feel about some of the aspects of NXT last night, bro? The vibes was definitely there.
Yeah, I mean, just from start to finish, and I feel like the pace of NXT is way better than the main roster right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the 2 hours or if it's just the spacing that they have. I mean, it's like there is definitely a lot more wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. I feel like it just flows so smoothly.
It
You
flow,
get like
bro.
you get the backstage interviews, then it goes into a nice match, and a lot of their matches too are very high paced. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm more engaged sometimes watching the matches in NXT than some of the matches on the main roster, which is kind of crazy to say, right? Because it's supposed to be a developmental league.
Yep.
And sometimes I feel like they grab my attention more. So, but you mentioned about the chemistry between them. I think that they have the best chemistry since Toxic Attraction. I think
You
that
think
group
so?
down there, that women's group has the best chemistry out of, I mean, really any group down there currently. And again,
Mm,
not to get into a whole bunch of rambling about groups and factions, but we got a lot as it is, right? So,
yeah.
especially since, Fallon Henley just lost the North American Championship, it's like, where does the group go from here? Are they
Mhm.
gonna be fighting for, different title here? Are they gonna go, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be interesting to see how that chapter kind of unfolds for that group. And again, how long do we keep these factions? JC Jane's been down in NXT for a long
For a
time,
minute,
bro.
yeah, she has, bro. Her and Gigi Dolan, both of them are
Yeah.
still down there, man. And it's like,
Yep.
do some of these superstars look at it like NXT is the ceiling? But then, what would you do in the main roster if they barely using you down there in NXT? You know what I'm saying? You got
Well,
to
I
ask.
wouldn't say that they're. I mean, JC Jane's definitely not barely used.
Well,
She's
Gigi
she's a, she's a
Dolan,
she also just came back from injury,
true
so
that.
it's kind of like they might be easing her in. So I get it, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good point. There's so much talent in NXT. There's so much talent on the main roster. You got more people apparently coming over to WWE. It's kind of a crazy time right now to
Hmm.
be a wrestling fan. You know what I mean? Especially when you're just looking at WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, TNA now, obviously, because we're getting
Yeah. Yep.
mass crossovers every
Hmm.
single week with TNA now. And yeah, it's super exciting. But again, it just begs the question, like what's gonna happen with all this talent?
It's making NXT
2 years.
much watch TV, bro.
Absolutely,
Like
yeah.
if you're a fan of TNA as well, it's definitely making it much watch TV, bro. So again, I mentioned Moose coming to NXT in order to fight
And think about it real
over.
quick.
Mhm.
NXT is the most important show.
Yeah, because it builds up the future.
Every single think about every single person on the main
Yeah, they
roster.
came through them NXT doors.
Wild, dude. Just
Yeah, they
look
came
about
like
the past
back
couple
then we had.
champions, the current champions. It's like it's nuts to think
Yeah.
every like main
Yep.
part of it is all revolved around the NXT talent.
Because back then they had OVW. Like all of the guys were coming, but OVW wasn't televised like NXT is.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like whoever Triple H, when he thought about that, man, like it was so great because he put the wrestlers in front of the audience before they really got to the big leagues. It wasn't like they went from OVW with no live television experience and things like
Mhm.
that. He kind of found the blueprint to take these developmental leagues, put them in front of TV, put them on PLEs. By
Mhm.
the time they get to the main roster, they can quickly adjust. Hopefully, they can quickly adjust to like the main WWE roster. So it was brilliant that he did that, man. But other than Moose coming over, which was a huge shocker to a lot of people, then we had the announcement as far as the Hardy Boys. And seeing this is the first time the Hardy Boys will be in NXT, but it just gives me the reason to believe that we should have the Hardy Boys one more run in WWE. It don't even they are a Hall of Fame tag team. Why they not in the Hall of Fame right now? I feel like because they keep jumping from organization to organ. Like if they would have just sat still for a little bit, not saying that that's what they should have done, but like had they done so, kind of like the Dudley Boys, like Bubba Ray still kind of get down whenever he does,
Mhm.
but he's already a Hall of Famer. So by them in TNA now,
Well, they only got into the Hall of Fame when they returned.
when they said it again,
When the Dudleys, their initial return,
that's when they
that's
got
when,
in. Yeah.
yeah, yep.
But this is to open up the doors for the Hardys to come back to WWE full time, one more
Yeah.
time, bro. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
absolutely.
So, honestly, with that match, of course, we know the Hardys are gonna win. What would have been a better match would have been Axiom and Nathan Frazier versus the
Dude,
Hardy Boys. Granted, bro, I almost want to look up how old is Matt and Jeff now, bro, because like I've been watching the Hardy Boys since the '90s.
old.
90s, bro. Like Hardy Boys,
You
Hardy Boys really came on the scene like 99. Like that's when
Yeah,
the Hardy
bro.
Boys just really became a household name, bro. We're in 2025 and
Mhm.
people are still excited about the Hardy Boys, bro. So definitely excited about them having a match at NXT. What about our boy Ricky Saint, man? What you think about that?
Yeah, we kind of already anticipated the name change.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's something to do with licensing or
Yep.
trademarking with AEW, and that's why
Yep.
they unfortunately had to change the name. It's pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little gonna be a little awkward.
It's gonna be a
I
little
feel
bit of
like
getting used to, but I feel like for the most part, do you know why he went with the last name
'cause
Saint?
he's from New Orleans.
Yep. I read up on that not too long ago. He said he wanted to pay, homage to where he's from, so that's why he went. And then again, Ricky Saints. You know what I'm saying? It still rolls off the
Close
tongue the
enough.
same, close
Yeah,
enough. We just got to get used to it. And like you
yeah.
said, we figured that it was gonna be a name change because he didn't come out as Ricky Starks, so he didn't say his name was Ricky Starks, but he's still using Absolute. The
Mhm,
Revolution will be televised. Hopefully they keep some cool music on my man. And I think he got a bright future. It was dope to see Ethan Page come out because him and Ethan Page both came from AEW. So once Ethan Page came out, the audience got loud because they already knew what time it was. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm.
I'm surprised that we didn't get any like AEW jabs or you fought. Well, Ethan Page did say, man, you following, trying to follow in my lead. But Ricky Stark should have told him, like, bro, like, you were, because we know this company ain't big enough for the both of us. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? So these guys are definitely gonna throw down. I think Ricky Starks is gonna, Ricky Saints. Again, we gotta get used to it. I think that he's gonna be a great addition to NXT, bro. I was a huge fan of him when he was in AEW, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I mean, the segment was a little strange because we don't really know what the heck's going on, right? Like, is he gonna be going after Ethan Page right away? Is he
No,
gonna be
he's
going
going to
after
Wesley.
Wesley?
Yeah,
Or is it gonna
Wesley
be
gonna be the first one, and I guess Ethan Page probably going to like attack him from behind and interfere in the match. So I feel like that's gonna be his first rivalry. It's gonna be
Mm.
Ethan Page for sure. But I can see him
Ethan
being
Page or Wesley?
Wesley gonna be a one off. That's gonna be a
Okay.
one off, but that's like a warm up match for him. But I think Ethan Page is gonna be his first main adversary. And then
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna go for the North American Championship. They probably let him grab that and then work his way up to. He's definitely gonna be NXT champion before the year is over. Guarantee it. I can 100% see that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely gonna, obviously showcase him at the Stand and Deliver, so
Yeah,
whether it's a title match there or not, I don't know, but, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, we're coming up, bro. We only got a month. We only
yeah.
got a month, well, 2 basically 2 full months from today, 'cause
I mean, yep, 19th and
WrestleMania and
20th.
yep, so 2 full months, gonna start building some stuff in NXT, they're gonna start building some stuff on the main roster. NXT overall is just on fire right now, bro.
Yep.
And I kind of want to ask you about this too. So we know the partnership with TNA and NXT, okay, but what about like a full merger? Like, what do you think would happen if we had WWE just acquiring TNA? Do you think that they would still use the banner and brand as TNA?
Nah, nah,
Because I've been thinking, and it wouldn't make sense to have SmackDown, Raw, NXT, TNA. It's just too much.
nah.
So I've almost feel like how they would have to do it is make like an almost like a kind of like a Raw and SmackDown, right? Like you would have an NXT World Heavyweight Champion, and then you would have like an NXT WWE champ. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd have to start making some more belts as well. Because
Oh
one
no,
of the
I don't want to hear that. Cause remember when I was saying we need like a European
It's
title, y'all
different.
was like,
It's
it's too
no,
many
it's
belts.
different. You're talking about the main roster. I'm talking about NXT. NXT doesn't have as many belts right now as
I
the
think
main
they got.
roster. And if you
I
had
see
2
what you're
hold on,
saying.
hold on. If you had 2 literal promotions
Yeah, you
merging
should have two.
together,
Yeah. They want
yeah.
you basically saying like NXT needs to have like a NXT championship and like a NXT undisputed championship, something like that when you're bringing in. But then
Correct.
again, like we can look at it like the invasion.
But do
Like
you think
when they did the invasion, some of them titles they kept. Like what if they made it the NXT X Division Championship now? You know
so
what
I
I'm
was just
saying?
gonna say,
By
yeah.
keeping like when WCW and ECW merged with WWE, they kept the Cruiserweight Championship and they got rid of the Light Heavyweight Championship. They kept the US Championship, got rid of like the European champ. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
if anything, they can keep. But then again, they kept the WCW Championship too and made it the World Heavyweight Championship. So maybe they will keep, like the main TNA Championship, but call it something else. You get what I'm saying? So like I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with that. They definitely would need to bring in a couple more titles with such a huge roster. But also with that, I wouldn't even think that they would keep everybody. Like it would kind of in a sense be the same way how they did with ECW and WCW, where they kept certain wrestlers and then other wrestlers they went off and did their own thing, or they retired, or later on got picked up. Because I don't think WWE will keep everybody. Like they'll keep some, like they'll keep Nick Nemeth. Like they got Matt Cardona, like even Matt Cardona coming over to NXT for a little bit, bro. Like the options is endless right now. The options is endless. Like to me, with this TNA NXT collaboration going on, it's making that must see TV until they start bringing in some of these TNA guys to like the main roster, like the Hardy Boys, on SmackDown for one night only, or the TNA World Heavyweight Champion on Monday Night Raw for one night only, or something like that, bro.
Yep.
So yeah, and then other than that, we had Jordan Grace had her first official match as an NXT women's superstar, and they got the dub, showed up, showed out, and it's just confirming that NXT women's wrestling is the hottest wrestling for women in the business right now. They even main eventing, you know what I'm saying? So like that was the main event of NXT. The women are putting in work. They are putting in work, bro. So even so, Ruka, that tag team match against Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, like the women been putting in. They need to bring back them women NXT titles. I definitely feel like they need to bring back the women tag team NXT titles because like they got some tag teams in there, and they not gonna keep bringing Bianca and Naomi down there to NXT. So go ahead and get them some tag titles. They can put some of these Raw tag team champions, Raw women's tag teams down there in NXT if they want to just beef up the tag team roster. But I think NXT is doing great. I think what they got going on right now is working, especially with the roster that they have. And it's not like they got superstars like they had back in the day. And for them to, slowly be gradually building this up, I'm super excited about it. So y'all let us know how y'all feel about that in the comment section below. How did y'all feel about NXT? Do y'all feel like NXT is the hottest wrestling on TV right now? Y'all gotta let me know that in the comment section below. Also, bro, with that being said, will we ever see, and I want y'all to answer this too, will we ever see a NXT title change on TNA, or will we ever see a TNA title change on NXT? If they don't start doing that, I feel like everything is going to be predictable. Like we got to have one of these guys, one of these girls actually beat somebody from the opposing company and grab one of those titles and bring it over there as well. Just so every time we got a TNA title on NXT, we not saying, oh man, well, we know that the TNA champion gonna win because they not gonna have an NXT superstar carrying that title. You get what I'm saying? Like they gotta start slowly giving us some unpredictable title changes with NXT and TNA, and it's really gonna have people invested in it. So y'all let us know how y'all feel about that in the comment section below. Anything left with that one, bro?
That's it, man.
That's it, y'all. So again, let us know how y'all feel about that in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and other than that, you got your boy Break.
God, Dylan.
And we out. Peace.
Peace.